Rollout!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Animated Rollout Command Optimus Prime, and I love this toy. Originally released in June of 2008, Optimus was a Supreme Class toy and originally retailed for approximately $50. I find that interesting because this guy right here specifically was kind of aimed at the kids. This guy is, like I said, he's a Supreme Class, so he's really, really big, and he's loaded with lights and sounds. He's got a very gimmicky transformation, and just a lot of really neat features that are very cool, but they're aimed specifically at very young audiences. And I find it interesting that being probably one of the more higher price pointed, actually he was the highest price point Prime in the series, he was the one that was aimed at the younger kids. So very cool figure. It's one that I skipped out on originally. I've always wanted to get my hands on this guy, but like I said, because it was kind of like a little kid's version toy and being $50, I never really kind of wanted to pay that much for it. I was always kind of hoping to find it on clearance or to find it on a markdown or something like that. And I never did. I kept putting it off, and then next thing you know, the figure was no longer available. And I never did find it. So thanks to my buddy Will from the co-host of the Slacker and Man podcast. He helped me find this figure, get my hands on it. So thank you, Will, for hooking me up. And I finally got my hands on this figure. And I love it. I love it every bit as much as I hoped that I would. So let's get right into it. Now, I'm going to let you know right now. Like I said, this guy has a lot of lights and sounds, and it does not have an on and off switch. It does have some sensors, so this guy is meant to make sounds and light up and sounds and whatnot as you move him around. So it's going to be one of those kind of videos where there's going to be a lot of noise coming from the toy. And unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I'm going to be able to do about that. Just about every time I pick this guy up and try to move him, he's going to make some kind of noise. So looking at Optimus right here in truck mode, that's why I haven't really touched him yet. I just kind of left him there. Looking at Optimus right here in truck mode, as you can see, he's the truck mode from the animated series, which I absolutely love. I just adore his design from that series, and he looks just like he did in that series. A lot of detail went into that. He looks exactly like he did on the show. And just a lot of detail. Love the little wheel that popped up. Love just all the detail that went into the lights and the grill and the bumper. Everything just looks so great on this figure. It's so big. Look at the size of this thing right here in my hand. Actually, let's put him right back here. There you go. First sound right there. It's not going to be the last. Here in truck mode, Optimus is approximately 9 inches long and about 5.5 inches tall. This guy is huge, and like I was mentioning, there's a lot of details that go into this guy. Now, Optimus did come with a weapon. He came with his signature axe from the show, and he does have a way to store it on the vehicle. It's one of my least favorite types of storage, which is going to be basically just plugged into the back here. So you can see that there's a tab right here at the top of the axe, and there's 2 tabs right there on each side of the axe. So what you've got to do is you've got to come back to the back of the truck here, and we're going to have to split this in half. There's sounds. You can see there's a little slot right there, and there are 2 slots right in there, one there and one there. So you got to kind of split the legs up, and then you can just get your axe in there without popping open the gimmick feature that I was not ready to show off just yet. And just kind of get your tabs in there, get them in place, and then pop your feet or your legs back together again. And that's pretty much it. That is going to be your weapon storage and vehicle mode. And of course, you know, if you know anything about me and my videos, I'm not a fan of this. I really don't like when the weapon's just sticking out there. So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just as happy just taking the axe off and setting it off to the side. You know, that has not happened at all while I'm playing with it. And of course, as soon as I get in front of the camera, this thing wants to pop off. So what are you going to do? There it goes again. So this video is already a disaster. Let's keep moving. So as you can see, getting right into the lights and sounds, Optimus here, like I mentioned, is loaded with lights and sounds. So we've got 3 buttons right here at the top of the vehicle. You've got right here where these light bars are. So this is a button, this is a button, and then the Autobot symbol is a button. So anytime you press any of these buttons, or anytime you roll the vehicle, he's going to make sounds, and he's going to make those lights. You probably just saw those lights blinking right here at the headlights. Just to show you what it is that's making the sounds when I'm moving the truck around. As you can see, he's got his wheels, just his normal truck wheels like you would have on any truck. He's also got these other two sets of wheels down here on the bottom of his front bumper. Now, these wheels here serve a couple of purposes. Right now, the purpose that they're serving is to be very annoying, and anytime I move the vehicle around, they activate these lights and sounds. That's supposed to be some kind of a, I guess, truck engine, and then the lights start blinking, and if you continue to move the truck around, he's going to continue making that engine noise. As long as you continue to move the truck around, he's going to continue making that noise. He's not going to stop until you stop moving the truck. And then the wheels are also going to come into play when it comes to transformation, and that's where this switch is going to come in. We'll get into that when we get to there. So what does that mean as far as rolling goes? Well, if those wheels weren't there, he would roll pretty nicely, but as it stands, it rolls so-so. Those little rubber wheels down here in the front do keep this vehicle from rolling freely. You can't really, you can't really like push them off, because they stop the vehicle. So I find that is a bit of a shame, especially for a toy that was intended at a young audience. You'd think little kids are going to want to grab this and run around the house pushing it around, or roll it and maybe try to like ram it into other toys or something like that. And the fact that this doesn't free roll, I think kind of is counterintuitive for a toy that was meant at such a young audience. So I think that might be a little bit of goes against what they were trying to do with this toy. But moving on, like I said, you got these three buttons up here. So these two buttons up here, I think, are pretty much going to be the same. They're going to activate these a siren, and then these lights up here are going to blink. So we'll go ahead and hit those. And I don't know how well you can. Oh, I was not expecting that. So this guy over here is the siren. And it does blink on both sides. The red side is showing off a little better on camera than the red side is. But it does blink on both sides, the red and the blue. And as you can see, the headlights are also coming on there. And then on this side, you can hear Optimus talking. Let's go. He says, let's go. And then the engine sounds one more time. And then when you press on the Autobot symbol, let's go. He just... Let's go and roll out. Let's go. Roll out. Without the engine sounds. But you still get those headlights blinking right there. So now, David Kaye did the voice for Optimus in the animated series. I can't tell if that's David Kaye in the sound chip for this toy. That let's go and roll out, and the other phrases that he's saying in robot mode are a little too fast, and I really cannot make out whether that's David Kaye or not. I'm leaning against it. I'm kind of leaning towards that's not him, but I don't know for sure. If you know if that's David Kaye or not, go down in the comments. Leave me a comment. Let me know. I don't know. I don't think that's David Kaye doing the voice on that chip. So, all right. So that is pretty much going to do it for the lights and sounds and all the features in the truck mode. So getting into the transformation, what we're going to do is we're going to flip this switch right here, and then we're going to move to the end of the table, because when we flipped this switch down here, we just unlocked this cab. So now when we push on the truck, these wheels that were on the bottom side of this bumper here are going to make this entire cab here start to turn. And once it turns around, it goes around about 3.5 times. And once you hear him say roll out and you hear the transformation sound, and he's going to be right at somewhat of a sitting position, the transformation gimmick is pretty much done. All the automated parts are pretty much done. So that's a pretty cool little gimmick. The wheels, you kind of push them along and he just starts spinning and he starts to kind of automorph. The arms popped off or just kind of transformed on their own. The head came out, and that whole head cover there just kind of just kind of rotate it to the back. So from here on out, the rest is up to you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take these, what were the front wheels of the truck, the ones that you saw that kept popping off earlier. We're going to go ahead and pop these out, and that's going to allow us to extend this back part of the truck here, and these are going to be the legs there. So we're going to go ahead and extend those. Go ahead and separate the legs, and this is pretty cool. We can go ahead and stand Optimus straight at this point. So I'll probably be able to show you the back of the legs better this way. Go ahead and straighten out the feet. And I'm going to go to the back here. I think I'll be able to show you better this way. These wheels are pretty cool because this is very similar to the way the Voyager figure was in the animated line. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take these, what were the back wheels of the truck, these are going to rotate all the way in. And I always loved the way that animated, the engineering in the animated toys, they were very good about hiding wheels and making wheels go away. They just had a way of doing that just always amazed me. So now these guys are going to come down, and if you look, there's a tab right here, and there's a little slot right there inside the wheel well. So these guys are just going to swing down, and they're going to tab right in there. Same thing on this side. And that is pretty much going to be it for the legs. So pushing this guy all the way back, we're going to have to move up. This guy is very, very tall. So going into the arms here, pretty much only thing left to do with the arms is extend these panels out where the headlights were at. Extend these out, and then you're going to see the fists right in there. So we can go ahead and rotate these out, and then just kind of clip those into those headlight panels. And that is pretty much, come on fist. Fist is stuck in there. Get that fist out. There we go. That is pretty much going to do the transformation for Rollout Command, Optimus Prime, and Robot Mode. Check this guy out. This guy is huge, and he looks awesome. I really love the way this guy looks. I just love the overall design of the animated Optimus Prime. It's always been one of my favorites, and I'm really struggling to get the whole thing on camera here. But he is such a cool design. So there he is. Got him all in camera. I actually did it. Here in Robot Mode, Optimus is approximately 12 inches tall. He is massive, and he is gorgeous. He's beautiful. He makes a great display piece. But he doesn't have a whole lot of articulation. As far as articulation goes, you don't have any articulation on the head. You got no rotation or anything like that. That's because you have a gimmick on the head. You don't have hardly any articulation in the arms because the arms are also gimmicked. So pretty much his left arm is pretty much stuck in this position. The right arm, you have a bend at the elbow, so you can go from there to there. That's about it. Just about the only articulation you're going to get is you have some waist articulation, and this is due to transformation. And you can hear some of his phrases there already. And then you've got a universal joint here at the hips, so you can go forwards, you can go backwards a little bit, but you're going to be hindered because of this bumper back here. You got the entire front bumper of the truck sitting right behind his butt, so and it's kind of big, so that's going to hinder his leg movement. You do have some rotation right below the knee. You have a knee bend, and you got a little bit of foot tilt, or pivot rather. That is going to be about it. He doesn't have a whole lot of articulation, but he's got a lot of gimmicks. So, going into the gimmicks, we've got reason we don't have articulation is, for example, left arm right here. We've got a punching feature. You probably notice these little levers on the back of the arms. There's one on each side. So if we go right here to the left arm, so he's got that punching sound every time you do that. And every once in a while, like every 3 or 4 times you do it, he'll do that, haha, which I absolutely love. That's really, that's awesome. It's really funny. They almost sounds like they should have thrown a "have at you" in there. The way he says that, it's hilarious. Then on this side over here, he's got like this swoosh sound that's really kind of meant for his axe. And then same thing, every 3 or 4 times he does that, he's gonna do that ha-ha sound. And that is just entertaining the heck out of me. I just find that so funny. So I'm gonna stop right there with the features and go into the axe, since we're looking at the axe arm. So you saw a little earlier what we were the axe kind of kept popping up. So I guess it's no surprise now. The axe does have a little bit of its own transformation. If you're familiar with the animated show, the axe would kind of extend, and he had a little bit of fire that came out of here, kind of like a little turbo boost, help him swing the axe even harder. So what you do here is you got those little gray button right here at the bottom of the handle. So if you push on that, the axe actually transforms, where the blade comes off. It looks like the blade extends, and you got those little flame coming off in the back here. Make it look like he's hitting even harder, which is pretty cool. So this works, like as you just saw, it works outside the figure with just pushing that button. But then there's also a little slot right here on the fist. So when you put this the axe right into the fist, there's a little button right here that you can push to make him transform the axe while he's actually holding it. So you're actually able to, and you can do it a couple of ways. You can try and just kind of push the button right off of the fist right there, or you can kind of work it into the plate in such a way that it actually transforms in his hand. So you can actually do it either way. It works both ways. It's pretty cool. And then once again, you can just swing the axe, and he'll make that swish sound. I'm waiting for that. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! Love that. That's so awesome. So we'll just set the axe aside for now. So we still got our we still have our buttons up here on the chest. So we've got this guy right here, which is going to be that alarm sound. And I think this time around, both of these buttons are going to be that siren. Yep, pretty much going to be the siren. And then the center button is going to give him speech. He's going to say, "I am Optimus Prime," and he's got two phrases that he say, and hopefully this works. I was having a little bit of trouble earlier, but this is really cool. So watch his face and his mouth plate when I push this button.
My name is Optimus Prime.
That is so cool.
Bring it on.
My name is Optimus Prime, and bring it on. And that's pretty much the only two phrases he's going to say.
Optimus Prime.
But I absolutely love that when he talks, his mouth plate moves automatically. You can see his eyes are also blinking, and then his headlights are also blinking. So anytime he talks,
Optimus Prime.
that just tickles me silly. I love that.
Optimus Prime. Bring it on.
I can just keep doing that all day. That is just so awesome. I love that he talks
Optimus Prime. Bring it on.
and his mouth plate moves. That is just fantastic. I absolutely love that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. He's pretty cool figure. I'm really happy that I finally got my hands on him. Like I said, originally this guy, I skipped out on it because this guy originally retailed for about $50, and as you can see, it's not much for articulation. This is pretty much the only pose you're going to get out of him. This really was meant for little hands to grab him, and he is a tough figure, so this guy was meant to be banged against other figures or rolled around on the floor and banged into things, and this really was meant for little kids. It's got all the lights and the gimmicks, the transformation, the spinning, and all of that. So not really something meant for collectors, and I didn't really originally want to pay the $50 for it, so I kept waiting on it, and eventually ended up missing out, and that was a shame. So, but I'm really glad that I finally was able to get my hands on it, because like I said, I know this is not for everybody. Even animated itself was not for everybody. A lot of people not big fans of animated, just the stylized animation drawing, or the way the animated looks. A lot of people are not fans of it, so I understand that a lot of people are not going to dig this figure. Me personally, I love animated, and this figure, just because of its massive size, it's such a great piece, just a display piece. He looks so nice just standing there on the shelf. I'm really glad that I picked him up. So I think that about does it for Transformers Animated Rollout Command Optimus Prime. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment down below. Give me some thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see. And I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.